Growing an audience on Twitter feels literally impossible, right? How on earth are you gonna get from 0 to 100,000 followers? Truth is, the reason you aren't growing in the way that you want to be is because you're not using the correct strategy. 100,000 followers? I haven't even got 100,000 followers, I got 5. Anyway, we're gonna be telling you exactly how to go step by step on this roadmap from 0 to 100,000 followers. And this is completely organic growth, so this means that you've got an audience of 100,000 real human beings. And if they're the right 100,000 people, then you can make a lot of money on Twitter by selling them products and services. However, you have to listen closely, because if you miss just one of these steps, I've got some news for you. You're not gonna make it. But you might be asking, why are you qualified to tell me how to get to 100,000 followers? Well, at Hype Fury, we schedule content for some of the biggest creators on Twitter who have grown the fastest in the last year. We've studied exactly what they do, how they did it, and when they did it, so that we give you the exact secrets that you need to know to get to 100K. Everybody on Twitter starts out without a plan, and I'm gonna show you exactly what you need to do at each stage of this process. So you've got 0 to 500, 500 to 1,000 followers, 1,000 to 10,000 followers, and then 10,000 and beyond. We've analysed some of the quickest growing accounts, and we've noticed that they have some of these key things in common. They have a good bio, a good profile photo, a good pinned tweet, and an excellent banner. A high quality photo needs to be professional. Many of the high profile 100,000 follower accounts have a great professional photo. They also have a high quality banner which denotes what they're doing and how they're doing it. Dango, for example, takes you to his subscriber list. Justin Welsh does the very same. Arvid has a great banner which showcases exactly what he does and what you're gonna get if you follow him. There are 100,000 follower accounts that don't follow this process. They take a different route and they provide more value than you can believe. They have a super specific niche and offer a very clear brand image. Your bio is fundamental and you must get it right. It needs to tell us what you do, who you do it for, what you're going to do, and tell us what to do next with a call to action. That call to action could be to go to your newsletter, to hit the link in your bio, or simply to follow you. So the pinned tweet needs to be super valuable. It could be a link to your website, it could be something that goes straight to your offer, or it tells us about your journey as to why you're on Twitter in the first place. Take, for example, Dango, who has skyrocketed to 400,000 followers in the last couple of years. He's got a great banner that takes you to his newsletter, a good quality professional photo, and the social proof of that is a thread which takes you through his transformational story. He was in debt and he was unfit, and now he's at 40 in the best shape of his life, and he's helping other people do the same. It's really strong social proof. And the combination of all these, as well as his content, is why Dan is converting followers like crazy. Next up is Justin Welsh, and he's a solopreneur who has skyrocketed his growth in the last year or two. He's got a very similar banner which directs you to his newsletter. He tells you who he is, a diversified solopreneur. He's building a portfolio of one-person businesses to 5 million. And then he tells you what you're in for, which is tweets and threads about the process. What Justin does in his location area is he uses that, instead of saying where he is, he uses it to point people to his newsletter. Justin has a fantastic pin tweet because it tells you exactly what he's about. His little one-person business has already crossed over 3 million in revenue. It's a highly engaged thread and it's a step-by-step process. It's suggesting that other people want to get that 3 million revenue for their solopreneur business as well. So they're going to click on the thread and they're going to follow Justin. Alex is another 100,000 follower account, but Alex is a writer and an entrepreneur. Alex's profile is less about what you're going to get and more a creative feeling. But regardless, he tells you exactly what you're going to get. He helps you build an impactful business around your passion, and then he directs you to his newsletter. His pinned tweet is a really catchy hook. Alex is known for his threads, and I know from talking to him that he used to write a thread a day. And last but not least is one of my favorite creators, Arvid Kahl. Arvid tells you exactly what you're gonna get when you go to his profile. He's smiley, approachable, he's a creator who's kind and helps other people, and he expresses that in his banner and his profile photo. Now, Arvid's a creative guy, and instead of using a transformation or a step-by-step, he he's got a video where he explains exactly what you're going to get when you follow him. He's authored books about business, he tells you about the courses he's running, and then he tells you exactly what he tweets about, so there are no surprises when you follow Arvid. Now, if we're going to be serious and get you to 100,000 followers quickly, then we're going to want to invest in a professional photo and a professional banner like the people I've chosen. But where do we start with tweeting? Firstly, before we get into it, social media is about being sociable. You've got to DM people, you've got to network with people, and you've got to create a community around you, and you only do that by showing up every day. You've got to consistently engage on the timeline, write comments on other people's tweets, and tweet yourself. But don't worry, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do when you start from zero. Okay, we're starting from 0 to 500 followers, and what you're going to do is write 2 tweets a day. When you start out, tweets are not that important. I know that sounds weird, but comments and engagement are the way to go here. You're going to be doing 20 to 30 comments a day on other people's tweets. I know it sounds like a lot, but that is what you're going to focus on when you start out. A secret trick here is to write a comment that can be retweeted on its own. If that person's tweet goes viral and your comment underneath also goes viral, then you're going to get more people that come to your profile. Another great suggestion is to quote tweet somebody's thread. If you can quote tweet it with your own anecdote or adding to the conversation, and that person's got a bigger following than you, then maybe, just maybe, they're going to retweet it into their audience. But don't go after the massive accounts, because it's unlikely that people are going to follow you back. If you go for people around 1,000 to 3,000 followers, they're more likely to see a notification from you and follow you back or reply. Oh, and here's a great trick. Get yourself a list of people in your niche from a quick search. Get the notifications on, and as soon as you're notified when they tweet, get there first and be the first person to comment. If you're the first person there, there's more likelihood that people are going to see it. And if they see it, they might go on your profile. If they go on your profile and it's like what I've mentioned, they're going to follow you. But how do you determine how many comments to write? Well, we said 30 comments. Let's split that down into 10 comments for people 10,000 plus and 20 comments for the people who are a few steps ahead of you. But when you're at this level, the more comments you write and the more you do, the faster you'll grow. We've got ourselves to 500 followers. Now next is 500 to 1,000 followers. What we're going to do here is we're going to do 2 to 3 tweets a day and 1 thread a week. Now I need to tell you this very, very important thing. If you tweet more at this level, it's not going to do anything. When I started, I used to write 15 to 20 tweets a day, but if no one sees them and no one engages with them, it's pointless. You need to focus on commenting. Okay, we've got ourselves to 1,000 followers. You've just got to keep consistent, keep writing your threads, keep DMing people and encouraging people to comment on your stuff by commenting on theirs. Grow a community around you. Now we're at 1,000 to 10,000 followers. Now you should be getting the hang of Twitter by now. If you're writing tweets every single day for several months, you're going to start getting better. You're going to start noticing patterns, you're going to start noticing structures that do well, and you may or may not have had a decently viral tweet already. But here is where you ramp it up. 2 to 3 tweets a day, 3 to 5 if you really want to go crazy, and some people do 2 threads a week at this point. Between 10,000 and 100,000 is where the big boys play. Now this is where engagement groups, paid retweets, communities, it really is Twitter on steroids. Now we're not saying that there aren't people who have organically grown to this level, but we're going to talk about growing fast. Now at this point we could be talking about making money. We could be creating an offer around the stuff that people have been asking about. But what we're typically seeing is people are doing 5 tweets a day, 1 thread a week, and they're consistent with what they put out and what they speak about. Typically they've nailed in their content, they talk about a specific topic, and they know their audience well. Now to get to this point, it takes a lot of time, consistency, and a lot of luck, but mainly effort. Now here are some practical tips that I wish I'd known when I started Twitter 2 years ago. First off, when you're under 1,000 followers, tweeting more does not matter. You're tweeting to nobody and nobody can see your stuff. You're focusing on comments in the beginning. The more you comment, the more people are going to see you. Once you grow your followers above 1,000, then tweets become more important. But until then, stick to comments and practice tweeting. Another tip is to space space out your tweets throughout the day. Leave a good gap of 2 to 3 hours between each tweet. One of the things that I wish I'd done when I started is to look at when your followers are online. There are great analytics tools like FollowerWonk that can show you when your audience is actually online and when the best time to tweet is. If the majority of your audience are online, then there's a good chance that they're actually going to see your tweet. As a creative, you're not alone, and there are tons of communities out there that you can join with creators just like you. HypeFury has got a free one on Discord. We'll link it in the description below. Come and join us and we can grow together. Now, one of the things I wish I'd learned when I first started out on Twitter was to learn about my conversion rate. That's essentially when people come to your profile, do they follow you or do they not? And what is the percentage of that? If you go to your Twitter analytics, you'll be able to see that for yourself. But you can try out things and experiment with things like new banners, a different bio, a slightly different picture. It's completely up to you. You need to tweak these things until you find a good combination that works for you. And if it starts working, leave it alone. Next up is retweeting your own tweets. Now, you're not going to annoy your followers if they haven't seen that content already. Now, you can manually do this by retweeting your tweets just before you go to bed, or you can use a scheduler like HypeFury, which will space it out perfectly so that you can reach the maximum audience possible. Next up is a concept called evergreen content. Now, evergreen just means a tweet or thread that did really well that you want to bookmark. If you bookmark your own tweets and threads, then you can store them for later. When you get new followers, they haven't seen your old content. And in HypeFury, you can actually schedule evergreen content so you can share your best bits every single week. We'd recommend doing this once or twice a week so that new followers can see the best things that you've ever done. You'll find that you'll have some foundational pieces of content that really showcase who you are. Now, to really get your profile off to a flyer, you can do something called an auto DM. This is a function in HypeFury where you give away something for free in exchange for a like, comment, retweet, or follow. If the thing you're giving away is valuable enough, you're going to supercharge your account and get people to share that with their audience. The automation within HypeFury is going to automatically allow you to send that piece of content so you're not doing it manually. Now, I know from the people that we speak to at HypeFury that a lot of creators do this maybe once or twice a week. At the moment, it's working great, and if it's working, people should be doing it. Now, we've told you a lot of stuff, but how do you keep up with doing this in the first place? We'd recommend getting a checklist and making it a habit. If you can write down exactly what you need to do and tick those things off every single day, you'll create some consistency and you'll instill that in exactly what you do. It's a massive cliche, but the more you do and the more consistent you are, the higher the likelihood that you're going to get to your goal. Now, we've outlined your structure for exactly the different steps, but what the hell do you tweet in the first place? Now, you can jump into HypeFury and get a ton of inspiration right in the app. You can go on blogs, something like Medium, you can go on YouTube or jump in the YouTube comments, you can look on Reddit and see what the most popular content is there, or just books you've read, conversations you've had, or experiences in real life. Content and inspiration for creativity comes from everywhere. Now, a secret bonus here is that I'm going to tell you the exact tools that people at 100,000 followers use every single day. First off, they use HypeFury to schedule and create content. Some of the better writing tools for flow are things like Hemingway. It can suggest some errors or some different ways that you want to express yourself. If you can remove some basic errors, then your tweets are going to likely be more engaged. Grammarly does the same thing. It focuses on grammar and flow. And the better the flow of the tweet and the better your writing, the more likelihood that people are going to engage with it. Now, ChatGPT is all the rage. We're not saying to use it for all of your tweets, but you could get some inspiration or some outlines for a thread. Use it wisely though, because people want to engage with a person, not a robot who's writing your tweets for you. Now, to make your tweets better, you could use a good old-fashioned tool, and that's you. If you read your tweet aloud, you'll be able to hear it exactly how it's read. And if it reads well and sounds good, then it's a good chance that it's an engaging tweet. And now you know exactly how to go from 0 to 100,000 followers on Twitter. But if you want a more detailed guide of going from 0 to 1,000 followers, click on this video here and I'll reveal the secrets to you.